During the 2018 budget debates, which were held from Monday to Friday last, the state of the ailing sugar industry was the highlight of the opposition's presentations, and they did not hesitate to apportion blame to the coalition for the problems in the sugar belt, and more recently, the laying off of sugar workers. When Prime Minister Moses Nagamutu contributed to the budget debates on Friday, he responded to the claims by the opposition.
You have to be a class actor to come into an August assembly such as this and pretend that you had no part in the decimation of the lives of the sugar workers, that you came here with your hands clean like Pontius Pilate, and you will pretend that you didn't know where the descent of sugar began.
The Prime Minister says the sorry state of the sugar industry is a burden that should be carried exclusively by the PPP.
And then LBI went, and Diamond went. Then with some haste, the learned leader of the opposition, the honorable leader of the opposition, Desmond was in the driving seat, as if they had the devils on their tail. They demarcated the land in Providence and handed out to their friends, many of their friends. Not a single sugar worker was offered a piece of land after Providence was closed. After Diamond was closed, they had some pieces of land for housing. And many of their friends were given the first preference, and then they started to give away the sugar workers' land. It is not the closure of the estate that was striking. It is what you do with the resources of the estate. And when you try to shift workers, having shut down LBI, and you call it integrate LBI with Enmore, you created 2 workshops, 2 junior staff, 2 sets of plow hands, 2 sets of this, 2 sets of that.
Also speaking on the issue of sugar and the closing off the debates was Finance Minister Winston Jordan, who described sugar as a major national problem.
I'll show you how much money has been lost in sugar on the previous government. All the crocodile tears crying to deer. They ought to be ashamed that they're using the plight of the workers to promote and foster their own ends. They ought to be ashamed of it. They ought to be ashamed of it. But it's a national problem, and we have to stop the politics and get together to solve this national problem.
The Finance Minister is suggesting that the PPP go to the sugar belt and tell sugar workers the truth and nothing but the truth. Roy Den James, HGP Nightly News.